What if I told you that one of the greatest minds in human history was seconds away from death? That he had already said goodbye to life, felt the cold breath of the firing squad, and in that final moment was resurrected. This isn't fiction. This is the true story of Fyodor Dostoevsky, the man who fought death and came back immortal. Fyodor Dostoevsky wasn't just a Russian novelist. He was a survivor of the deepest darkness a human being can experience. Born in 1821, he lived through poverty, political oppression, illness, and addiction. But nothing, absolutely nothing, shaped him more than what happened at age 28. Dostoevsky had joined a group of progressive intellectuals. In the eyes of the Russian Tsar, that was a threat. He was arrested, interrogated, and sentenced to death by firing squad. He stood in the freezing cold of St. Petersburg morning, blindfolded, bound, awaiting the final command. Imagine it. You're handcuffed. You've written letters to your loved ones. You're looking up at the sky for the very last time. The officer reads out the order. The rifles are raised. The trigger is almost pulled. And then, a sudden interruption. A messenger gallops in. A royal pardon. A last-second change of fate. Dostoevsky was spared at the very last moment, but in his mind, he had already died. Dostoevsky was not the same man afterward. In the instant between death and life, something cracked open. He described it later. The trees looked greener. The sky, infinite. The sound of life, louder than ever before. That near-death experience did not traumatize him. It awakened him. When he was sent to a Siberian labor camp for 4 years right after, he wasn't broken. He was reborn. He called it the moment he learned what it really means to live. This rebirth inspired his greatest works. Notes from Underground, a furious rant against the illusion of rational progress. Crime and Punishment, a masterpiece about guilt, conscience, and redemption. The Brothers Karamazov, a cosmic battle between God and nihilism. Would these works have existed if he hadn't died and come back? Maybe not. Dostoevsky became obsessed with human nature, not the polished, surface version, the one buried under shame, fear, and doubt. He saw how quickly everything can be taken from us, and how society builds illusions of control, of reason, of comfort, that shatter in the face of mortality. He believed to live without hope is to cease to live, and yet pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. To Dostoevsky, suffering wasn't something to avoid. It was the key to consciousness. So why does this matter to you right now? Because most people are living like they're immortal. When they're not, we scroll. We waste time. We avoid pain, as if tomorrow is guaranteed. But Dostoevsky reminds us that everything can change in 1 second, that the awareness of death doesn't paralyze us. It wakes us up. That true creativity, true vision, and true freedom are often born only after we've tasted despair. You don't need to face a firing squad to change your life, but you do need to look mortality in the eye and choose to live anyway. Dostoevsky was sentenced to death and found life. He wrote novels that shook the world, not because he had easy answers, but because he asked the hardest questions. He proved that one moment of clarity can transform a lifetime, that what nearly kills you might just be the thing that makes you immortal. So here's your challenge. Live like your time is running out. Think deeply, suffer honestly, and write, not with your hand, but with your soul. Because greatness, like Dostoevsky's, begins where comfort ends.